So this month on the Creative Shift vlog, I want to talk about Andy Warhol, a master of contemporary art, but also really a master of contemporary business. And I think there's lots of times that business can learn some real lessons from visual artists. And in the Indianapolis Museum of Art, where they recently had a major exhibition of Warhol, the curator said, Warhol was visionary as an artist, but also as an entrepreneur. His creative ventures fused the world of art, fashion, design, music, technology, and film, and represented a truly innovative approach to the cultural economy. All this from somebody whose creative heyday, you could argue, was in the 50s and 60s, long before that idea of multi-platform working had ever emerged. So I came up with 5 ways that you can Warhol yourself and your business. Number 1, be yourself with skill. I think we all really can conjure an image of Andy Warhol, the wig, the black polo neck, the glasses, the Campbell soup cans. There's so much of his work, including himself, that's iconic. He said he was deeply superficial, which I think is really fantastic. And I suppose the lesson for business is, what's your signature look? How do people know that it's your product or your services? Have you got a particular visual style that makes you stand out? I don't know about you, but it seems to me that there's a lot of bland in the world, and anything we can do to inject distinctiveness is an absolute brand advantage. Number 2, look at your work and work all the angles. Warhol made several versions of the same painting. Double Elvis, for example, he did 22 versions of, and finally culminated in 8 Elvises. Or is that Elvi? I never know. And that sold in 2008 for over $100 million. So rather than think, yeah, I've done my double Elvis painting, he kept pushing and extending the idea. And I think there's something in business about that, for us to look at our existing assets and think, how can we package them differently? How can we double up? How can we make it 4 times as big and 8 times as expensive? Just thinking about your products and services in this way gives you new approaches and is an innovative approach. How can you do less and charge more? Won't that be good? Number 3, collaborate widely with unexpected partners. So the Warhol Foundation now licenses all sorts of things to all sorts of people. Earlier last year, there was a BMAG, a Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery exhibition that featured the work of Warhol, curated by Jeremy Deller. And I bought stickers and notebooks and workbooks and all sorts of stuff. But you can get Warhol images on prams, drinks cartons and all sorts of things. Who'd have thought that Andy Warhol images would be attractive and valuable to the manufacturer of children's prams, baby prams? And who are the collaborators and people you could work with that maybe you've missed because you don't see an obvious fit? Number 4 is be tenacious. Andy Warhol said this great thing: it doesn't matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. And I do think, particularly when I've worked with startup businesses, they have very ambitious, high growth plans. Oh, they're going to hit this sales target or that market really fast. And of course, it's rare that it really takes off like that. But the trick at that point is just to keep going and not stop. Concentrate on persistence. Concentrate on keeping your own energy level up and your own sense of achievement and a sense of encouragement. And that's where your support network is really, really vital. Tenacity, as I've said in the past, is about when every sort of nerve and fibre of your being just wants to go, do you know what? I'm stopping. Going, I'm going to take one more step. And tenacity isn't this general thing. I think it's about a very specific choice you make at very specific moments. So, doesn't matter how slowly you go, the trick is not to stop. The final one is say, so what? Another great quote. Sometimes people let the same problem make them miserable for years when they could just say, so what? And move on. That's one of my favourite things to say. So what? So for me, this is about keeping things in perspective. I read a fantastic thing recently about a woman who had amnesia, and she woke up loads more happy than she was previously because she'd forgotten all the grudges that she held against people, and she just met people and saw them at face value. Apparently she'd had a dreadful relationship with her mother, forgot all her grievances about her, and then just met this very pleasant woman and had a great relationship with her. I'm not suggesting you get amnesia, but there's something in that, isn't there? Sometimes we create our reality by just holding on to fixed beliefs about ourselves and about people. And sometimes it might just be easier to just say, so what? And move on. So there you have it. 5 ways in which you can Warhol yourself and your business. If you try any of them on, if you get any success with them, please let us know by maybe entering a comment below or contacting us. Our details are at www.creativeshift.uk.com.